Let's talk about continuing this journey. So I want to give you some supports. I want to talk about some best practices. I want to talk about what could come up for you after retreat, after going through such a deep dive into self and some of these like wilder, more hidden parts that we went into. So first and foremost, before I go into supports, I want to touch on resistance patterns. And this is important because we've all got different ways that we protect ourselves. And we developed these most often when we were young. We were little kids, and it was ways of protecting. And it was useful then, but now as adults, and when we are working to open up to the fullness of self, these old protection patterns actually prevent us from going deep, or they can slow down this process of really coming into authentic empowerment and authentic self. So it's worthwhile to chat just a little bit and give you a few little tips around this resistance patterning that can come up for us. So some of the things around resistance is like the numbing of self. So we start to go into something and suddenly there's a numb feeling, or it's I don't feel anything. That's a resistance pattern of numbing. It might feel like a tightening or like a wall almost. That's one of the resistance patterns. Another one to just be aware of, and these are just things I'm sharing with you to be aware of, and I share this because if you went through retreat and you found yourself falling into some of these old patterns, it's an opportunity to go back because there's more for you there. So to potentially go back to one of the sessions or one of the practices, there's more there. So you can get a whole lot more out of this retreat by reflecting, simply reflecting. And this is one of the greatest supports that you could do, is reflect on the journey. Where was there more? Where was I triggered? Where did I numb out? Where did I hit resistance? And then going back in with love. And so maybe doing one of those inner child practices that I talked about, and then going in, right? So those inner child practices can help to eliminate some of those old resistance patterns that come up, or that anesthetizing. So another, oftentimes, or another common resistance pattern is the escaping. So when it starts to get rubbly or wild, there's the escaping into joy, bliss, love, and light. Oh, I'm up here, right? I've done the runner. I've done the escape. And it's a very powerful protection mechanism that a lot of us used as children, was I'm going to get out of the body. It's too painful here. I'm going to just get out, and I'm going to go hang out up here where it's just light and fluffy and fun. But that's preventing us from opening up to the feminine, from opening up to our authentic power. So that's another one to just take notice of. Or the distractions. Resistance patterns can be, I'm eating a lot of food because I'm numbing, right? So food helps to numb, right? We've got a full belly, suddenly energy is not moving all that well. I want to drink some wine. I'm drinking like heaps and heaps and heaps of caffeine because I don't want to feel. So that's another powerful one, especially for us women. So as women, we have that one more prevalent than men. So feel into that if there was a distraction, or suddenly everything gets really busy in your world, right? We create this chaos as a way of resisting feeling, as a way of resisting going in and feeling. So taking notice and thinking back and reflecting on the journey and just going, okay, did I numb? Did I do a runner? Did I get distracted? Did I anesthetize or numb by eating a lot of food, or creating some other sort of chaos in my world to distract me or to keep me from feeling? Yeah? So that's the first thing that I want to talk about, is to really reflect on the journey first and foremost, of course. Second thing I want to talk about is when we do go into these places, a lot of different reactions can come up for us. Some can be very physical, some can be very emotional, some can even be like almost like a brain scramble. So I share this with you as a way of honoring and inviting you to give yourself permission, to give the body permission to do whatever it's doing. Again, we've tapped into and we've opened up to the body wisdom. Body knows how to clear this. Body knows how to heal. Body knows how to open, our body wisdom knows how to do this. But so often we stop it from doing what it wants to do. It may want to release, and it may continue to release in a physical way. So not all of the symptoms that you can feel could be change in period, right? Could be heavier, more releasing is happening. Could be body pains, like what is this shoulder thing about, or lower back, or womb, right? Your womb might be sore. This is a big one for us women, is our wombs get sore, or chest. I know for a lot of us who have had childhood emotional stuff, there's a lot of clearing and releasing of that toxic-y, denser energy out of the lungs. It's literally coughing stuff out. So just know that physically, when we energetically release, a lot of times the body, and this is how the body heals disease. So when we're not releasing these energies, this is how disease happens in our body. It's what causes disease. So when we're having these physical reactions to the work that we've just done, it's good. This is the body purging. This is the body purifying. So the mind also has to go through a purifying, a purging. So it can feel sometimes like a little bit of a brain scramble, or you're at work on Monday morning, you're like, wow, I just can't think. And that's okay. That's a part. It's not that the brain's not going to come back, or you'll be more intelligent. But there's a rewiring that happens, right? We're working on these extraordinarily deep levels of our being that are rewiring us. So when there's a transformation happening, when there's an opening and enlivening, a change, a shift to more, there has to be a rewiring. And we'll notice some of these as physical symptoms or emotional symptoms. You might cry. I remember the first time I put my mom in the medicine wheel, the first time we worked archetypally, my mom was crying for like 3 days later. Just randomly, she was so open and so vulnerable. It was the most beautiful thing to witness. And she calls me Breeze, and she says to me, Breeze, I'm so emotional. Do you think it's because of that wheel? And I was like, what's your feel, Mom? Does it feel like, yes? I said, Mom, it's beautiful. And she's like, I know, but I'm just so sad. And it was such a wonderful, enormous healing that my mom went through around her own childhood. And it was just releasing some of the old pent-up grief around her childhood. So know that can happen, and to give yourself permission to feel it, to give yourself permission to be, is to honor this process, honor what's happening, honor the unfolding, honor the emotions, honor the physical, honor the mental. Listen, right? It's again, we're coming into this beautiful union, and we're coming into a place where the body becomes our beloved, right? This is my beloved. I want to take care of it, and I want to take care of my emotions and my mental state, and I want to trust the wisdom, the body wisdom that's being given to me, and the insights that are coming, and the guidance that my body wisdom is sharing with me. And it might say, you need a massage, you need touch. So this is a good time, I think, to talk about some of the real physical, tangible supports as well. One is massage, body work. is wonderful. Even some of the energetic healing can be really, really fantastic. I would say that for me, it's definitely been more of the physicalness. So when I work on these different energetic realms or these deep inner realms of the psyche, to have like the physical manipulation of the body has been really powerful for me. And so many of the women in ReWilding is to have a practitioner who's literally just touching the body. Chiropractic has been amazing for me in the realignment, and that's just been my personal journey. Is it's literally my whole body has realigned. Things that I had asthma growing up and allergies as a young one. I used to use an inhaler every single day of my life. Gone. My allergies are gone. I could never even be in a house with a cat or a dog. I've had dogs, and I can live with cats. Gone. These things, they go once we can get into these deep realms. So that's a great support. Something else that I like to share is when there's some of the deeper releasing, especially with the dark goddesses, and you want to support in a physical way, salt baths are great. Or even just creating a salt scrub. So if you mix some honey with some salt, yeah, it's so good, and you just scrub it, right? Or if you don't have honey, you can just use salt. That's fine, and you just make this scrub, and use good salt, right? Good quality sea salt, and scrub when you're in the shower, and you use this as a meditation practice of releasing, right? Supporting the body, or getting in the ocean. Yes, if you live near the ocean, that's another really powerful practice and powerful way of supporting self going forward. I have a notepad, and I just want to, there's two other things I want to talk about. One is, this is another simple physical support that is sometimes so nice for us women, and it's a hot water bottle on the womb space. Yes, crawl in bed, put the hot water bottle there, and just feel the warmth of the hot water bottle on womb or solar plexus or chest, heart space, right? Or even between, even yoni. To just feel the warmth of that is a great support practice. Another is yoni root steam. So for those who are really working on first and second chakras or opening the sexual channel, so the healing, the cleansing, the awakening of the yoni of the womb, awakening up to our full orgasmic energy, our full sexual expression, is actual steaming with plant medicine, with different herbs that are specifically designed and are specifically have potency to them that cleanse, that heal, that clear, that open any of those cords or connections that we hold in our womb space, in our yonis. So it's literally like a bowl of hot water, and it's just herbs. It's like making a pot of tea, but it's a bowl, like a bowl of tea, and you can either wrap a towel around yourself, or I just do it naked because I love being naked and having the freedom of that. And you squat, or you can sit on the edge of a chair and you just allow the steam. So this is very physical and tangible. You allow the steam and this plant medicine to come up, and you breathe the steam up the yoni, right? And up into the womb. And you do this with the physical support of the yoni steam, of this, of these herbs that are specific to women's business. And I can put a link to one of the blends that I recommend. It's made by a dear friend of mine, and there's a wild way of how the two of us kind of, in some strange way, co-created. She made it. She's the medicine woman, but she had tapped into this wild meditation that I was in. It's a long story, but anyways, that's another powerful practice for us women. The other thing I want to chat about is the ripple effect of this work. So to honor our relationships to other people and those who are close to us, and to just hold space for that. As much as you can hold space for self, and give self permission, but also know that when I'm working on my relationship to my feminine or my masculine, or I'm opening up to more, I'm also, this is rippling out into my family, out into, could be the relationship with my father, the relationship with my mother, the relationship with my children. So just know that all of these beautiful chords, right? Not every chord is a not good chord. All of these beautiful chords and connections and love that we have for those around us, this ripple effect. So if things start to shift, it's always a beautiful shift, right? Because we're always holding the highest intention that this is in my highest good. And if it's in my highest good, it's in the highest good of everybody around me. So know that it's all in everyone's highest good. Sometimes it's can be a little bit chaotic. So just to honor that. And I think I bring that to the table. So that's not a surprise, like, whoa, this relationship with my mom we're talking about things that I really never thought we would talk about, or what? But this thing with my dad, like I'm suddenly like really nervous around my dad because I've realized I've emasculated in my whole life, whatever the case may be. I want to bring it up to honor it. So it's not a surprise. And the final thing I want to talk about is the commitment to practice, the commitment to taking this forward in your life, to continuing on. We're just touching on things. Like I've said, we've gone into 4 archetypal energies of the over 40 that I work with just in rewilding, right? This is just touching the surface of what's possible. So it's the start. So it's the following the threads, right? So trusting the gut, what feels right for a daily practice for me, what feels right for diving deeper for me, what kind of a space feels right for me to go into these places. Yeah, so it doesn't end here. This has led me here, and now that I'm here, what is my body wisdom saying? What is my heart, right? What am I feeling? How can I continue this? How can I keep opening? Or how can I deepen this? Were there rituals that I was really called to in rewilding? Were there particular archetypes in this program that I was really called to in rewilding? Were there certain resources that I shared with you that you're really called to, like maybe shamanic drumming really calls to you, or whatever the case may be? So to feel that, to honor that, and to keep trusting that inner guidance. The final offering or support that I'll share with you it's a rewilding support. So it's specific to rewilding, and it's what we've just done, but it's a way to continue on the journey. So it's a way for you to continue to explore more of the archetypes. It's a way for me to continue to hold that space for us and to continue to share more practices with us. And it's the membership, so it's the Rewilding Inner Circle. And it's once a month we go into a particular archetype. So every month we're exploring a new archetype. So each year we'll get through 12 different archetypes. And in that month, it's practices for that archetype. It's kind of what we've done in retreat, right? Where there's a conversation around it, there's a transmission around it, there's the practices to support, and then there will be a live stream conversation where we can interact and you can ask questions. So it's kind of the beginning of the month, we open up to a particular archetype, and we will align this astrologically as well. So if you know how some of the rewilding stuff works, is when the astrology, right, lines up, so planets, asteroids also link up to these archetypes, and when there are big windows, so certain so each month there's a window where like the door to Medusa is so incredibly open that it's that easy for us to get in there, right? And that's what we're going to line up with in the inner circle, is line up the astrology. What's happening energetically? What doors are really open? And then that's the archetype that we're going to open to that month. So at the start of the month, it'll be transmission. It'll be different practices. Give us 2 weeks or so to dive in, and then we'll hold a live stream call where it's questions. We hold our space, and we have that interactive conversation. So it's my way of helping women who are really called to rewilding, who are really called to this shamanic, tantric, archetypal, deep dive, and who are saying, yeah, this is great. Like, I've gone through 3 archetypes in retreats, but I want all 40. I want to know what it's like to open up to the warrior goddesses. I want to know what it's like to open up to the other lover goddesses. I want to know what it's like to open up to the other masculine archetypes. So it's feminine archetypes, it's masculine archetypes, and we'll do 1 per month. So I'll get you all the details to that soon. But it's an invitation, and it's not expensive, right? It's like $20 a month. So it's not a big burden on the pocketbook, and I want it to be that way because I want it to be easy to access, to be easy for us to continue this journey. Okay, I think that's it for me. I have got so many resources for you, and you've got access to this, like I said, as long as you want. Watch this as many times as you want. Go back to certain parts, dive into the resources, and I sincerely hope to continue on this journey with you. I would be honored to continue through the membership program, to to keep going into these parts of self, and to keep exploring and opening up to what's there for you. So with that, I want to say thank you again for co-creating this with me, and just send you a lot of love and blessings on this big, beautiful, wild journey that is you and that is your life.